Coming up on this episode of Lust to Dust.
She's about as compatible with me as fresh squeezed poison ivy juice.
This checks out for some of the fucking shit you guys say.
From lust to dust.
Welcome back to From Lust to Dust, my horny dead dad.
Podcast where we read our dead dad's sex book.
I'm Brett Dodenhoff.
I'm Connor Dodenhoff.
Today, no, don't. You wait for your cue here, buddy. And you know what? You're not speaking for another 30 minutes. That's how this usually goes. We've got Will Peters.
That's me.
Comedian.
Comedian.
Roommate.
You're Brett's roommate.
I'm Brett's roommate, and that's it. I've known you guys for a long time.
Will's known us for a long time. He's a comedian in town. Former circus man.
You are reading. I mean, this could be. You have notes on your forearm.
He's a comedian in town, and
listen, wait for a response.
He's performing at the Poughkeepsie Superdome tonight.
You're from the United States, right?
That's right. He's with a traveling band.
You're Brett's roommate. Give the audience some insight on what it's like being Brett's roommate.
It's sexually scary.
Of course it is.
Honestly, there's nothing bad. It's great being roommates.
Usually the one who says it's great.
Nothing bad. It's great being roommates.
We've actually never had a problem in life.
Life period.
Trash gets taken out. I don't know how.
I will say.
What day do you think the bins belong on the street?
Is it Monday? Is it Sunday nights?
So tell us, Will. Let's start with your parents' divorce.
My parents' divorce. I was, I think, 13 or 14.
All right. How did mom and dad tell you?
There was one specific day where it all blew up. I had no idea there was turmoil. I thought it was fine.
14?
There was. And I had no idea.
You got an obliviousness for certain things. I'll give you that.
It was. I talked to my mom and dad about it, and they're like, there was just a lot of underlying factors they kept between themselves, and never really we never really saw.
So they were decent about keeping things.
Yeah, they would never openly fight or anything. There wasn't this is from some of the shit I've heard from you guys.
Right.
It wasn't anything like that.
They were probably fighting, but it was behind closed doors.
Yeah, and I think my mom was dealing with a lot of issues with my dad that they just kept between themselves, and we didn't clock because I was 14. So subtle alcoholism, I'm not picking up on that as a young kid.
Right. Yeah.
I think one school night, my mom and dad were arguing, and my mom was screaming at my dad. I'd never really heard that. I was upstairs with my sister, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And we kind of yell down from the upstairs, what is happening? And we go down, and my dad's hammered on the couch, watching TV, just I don't know why are you yelling at me? And my mom is just screaming at my dad, what's going on, blah, blah. My mom's like, we're getting a divorce. That's it. My dad's like, I don't know. He was looking to us for backup. Just I don't know what is happening.
That's how you found out?
Yeah. That was.
So it was a heat of the moment.
Lashing out. It was in the heat of the moment. My mom was like, that's it.
Do you think that's the first time your dad heard it?
No. I mean, they probably have been having, I assume they've been having
You think
talks.
your mom kind of knew? When she saw it, she goes, all right, there's an audience here. Because she goes, if I say this here, we can't just wake up tomorrow and have regular breakfast.
Right? Yeah.
That night they break up, and then what happens? He moves out the next day, or
I honestly,
you blocked it out.
I don't remember a whole lot of what immediately happened after, but it was kind of
You're so young. Was there a follow-up day the next day?
There was a formal sitting down.
Oh, okay.
I think it was my mom lashing out. Maybe there was the audience, and she was like, I can't take it. Clearly nothing's getting through to my dad per the convos they've been having. So she's like, I'm going to declare this now and just fucking elicit a reaction.
Sure.
No reaction from drunk dad.
Right.
Kind of I don't know what the hell that was.
I'm getting a divorce. What do you say at that age? Were you guys asking questions, or was it?
Yeah, we're like, what, why? And my sister was younger, so she was like, I really don't understand, freaking out. And
was she 12? I don't. Mommy, daddy.
Who's gonna change my diaper? All right, well, we're gonna get back into
Let's do it.
Our favorite woman of the book. We've led on a little bit. This was not our favorite person. I'll be honest. We're seeing why. So where did we leave off? We left off where he had slept with Alexis.
We left off between Ethan and between her butt cheeks, and
yeah, he was face deep in her butt cheeks. And,
it is funny thinking about this couch now. We know my dad both went down on, and I believe 69 someone on this couch. Ethan ate a girl out from behind, potentially ate her ass. I mean, this is also where, I'm sitting there the next morning playing Xbox. I have no idea exactly where my face was. There was tongue meets ass. And I'm, eating pancakes. I'm probably dropping,
drop a crumb on the couch.
M&Ms and going, I have no idea. I'm like,
We would eat a lot of M&Ms on that couch.
A blonde pubic hair.
Oh my God.
That is true. You never want to be on a couch. Like, there should be a designated eating ass couch. And that was our playroom couch every day.
I mean, not to mention when we would leave, when it wasn't our weekend, I'm sure sometimes the Ethan of the night, my dad didn't have us. I'm sure he would go back to, go sleep with the girl in, the kid's bunk bed.
I mean, you're banging a chick in a Thomas the Tank Engine bed.
That checks out for you, Connor.
You got Thomas the Tank Engine. Again, Connor's 13 at this point.
Well, you should relate to being 13.
Being very young,
The young
diapers
age
with the Power Ranger sheets, of course.
In their cradle.
Guys, let's get back into it.
All right.
Continuing Lori.
Being with Alexis that night was a wonderful distraction, but we both knew it wasn't the start of anything. It was just one of those nights when all of the moons aligned.
I don't think that's a phrase.
Heard the saying once. And
This better
Jesus
be all the moons aligned. I think he's still thinking of Ethan's moon, his face next to these two moons, this woman's ass.
at the same time, the moons aligned that night.
Yeah.
They both
Oh,
stuffed their
the
faces.
What
aligned.
is this? What is he on, Tatooine? I mean, this is...
I didn't see him as much of as an astrology guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like some
Yeah.
pretty heady astrology shit.
Yeah, her
All the
Libra
moons
was
aligned.
rising.
After Ethan left the next day, my emotions surrounding the breakup with Lori flowed back in like the predictable tide. Loneliness took hold again, and within 3 or 4 days, I picked up the phone to call Lori.
3 or 4 days. I see. So 4 days before, he had called Ethan. He said, hey, I broke it off with Lori.
Oh, great.
Then they go out that night. He sleeps with Alexis. 4 days later, he's the one succumbing to it. So I thought she'd maybe be calling him or something. He's succumbing to
He makes it 1 week?
No, it's 4 nights.
It's
total?
even
Oh,
less.
He said he
Well,
made it
from
4
Alexis.
nights. Loneliness shouldn't kick in 3 days later. I'll be honest, from personal experience, if I get laid,
Let's go. Fuck.
I got about a month and a half of coasting. You think
I'm good for a year.
You got a little pep in your step.
3 or 4 nights, I'm always unimpressed by this man's kind of.
I think it is. It's the semen buildup. He's got a semen meter that really just is.
I do think his semen meter is broken.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Semen meter? Semen meter. Can we discuss that?
How much capacity your balls have for semen? And I think our dad had either, as Brett says, far too little, which he
Fast refills.
He fast refilled.
Refill, or he
had
large
such a significant
reservoir.
amount that it interfered
The
with the
reservoir is
wiring of
just
his
so
brain.
big.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
It's kind of hard to know. Was he was he a sniper? He's only got a couple in the chamber, but they're
valuable.
But God, he
they're
can
there
really
at 50
quick.
cows.
Right.
They'll
Yeah.
take an arm
I
off.
kind of think he was because he's not a guy that would get laid nightly, but when he did, it's
I
like
think sniper.
he was hitting 400 or 500
Yeah, he
yards
was. He
at
was.
distance.
It was now early November, and for the 4th time in as many months, I broke it off once more with Lori.
They're back together for literally an indention. I mean, quite literally. There's the only space. Their relationship literally lives. You can see here. It lives in this indention. He doesn't even get. We got back together. We broke up.
4 days after Alexis, he calls her and is like, "Hey, let's get back together." The very next sentence is, and then we broke it off again.
And that's it. That's it?
Again, what we were kind of saying in the last episode is this has devolved into just this toxic, horrible relationship of they get together, they get away. They get together, they get away.
How much drama could I take? I thought. She's never going to change. She was in love with me, and I was in love with her. And how couldn't I be? She had everything I wanted in a woman. Totally gorgeous, smart, engaging, personality, a successful entrepreneur, and a sexiness that totally melted me from the first time I met her. Yet, when one meets a beautiful 40-ish woman who has somehow managed to escape marriage, one should ask, why? But her looks, charm, and incredibly satisfying sex was more than enough to shove that question deep into the back of my mind.
Remember the first thing was she's 40 and unmarried and what that means. And we chalked it up to either she's crazy or it has to do with she's a successful businesswoman. It's her, But now I think we're finding it's the latter.
He's finally coming around to there might be something kind of
There's some screws loose.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a fair assessment. If you're not married at that age, maybe there's something. Yeah.
Well,
I think
these
it's a very
days
fair
maybe
assessment.
not.
Yeah, I
you
think
know?
now it's
well,
more
here's
normal,
the deal.
but
I think also like you're looking at her and it's like she's got everything.
true.
If someone's able to run a company and be successful and do all these things, then you're like, well, they can probably figure out how to have a relationship of sorts.
That was my first thought. I'm like, how can she do all this and be so successful and have such a successful company, but it still doesn't have that awareness or emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
Like she snaps randomly.
Yeah.
How do you snap like that randomly, but have such a successful company?
I think
don't
there are
understand.
people they can make $1, but they can't keep a relationship for the life of them.
Yeah, I guess it
You
can be
know?
transactional. Like,
What makes a shitty partner makes you a good businessman.
it can,
Elon
it can.
Musk.
Yeah.
Larry Ellison.
But Lori, very successful woman, but then when she'd go out, she'd be like, "You're staring at that girl's ass." So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, would she apply that kind of in the business, in the boardroom? You
That's
know?
what I'm
You're
wondering.
talking with another company.
You're talking with another company, exactly.
But why can she turn it off with that? With those types of
Well, maybe she didn't turn it off, is my point.
yeah, but
maybe
how
she
do you get
employed
that successful and that doesn't turn off? I don't.
Because you just keep it
understand.
moving, you know? And maybe it
Right.
helps.
Yeah, it could
Maybe it
help.
helps.
You could use it to your advantage. Yeah.
Yet the answer to the question kept rearing its ugly head, again on an occasion that started out fine. We'd had a fun night out on the town, eating, drinking, and watching a band with Chuck and Sophia, and we're on the way back to Lori's house to spend the evening.
I love Chuck and Sophia. They're his friends that have witnessed this whole thing. I love that they're like when you're meeting up with a toxic couple.
Yeah.
It's you get two great parts of the night. One is before it happens, and being like, "What do you think's going to happen?
right.
What's it going to happen?" And then after is the debrief of like, "Wow,
Chuck and Sophia are probably getting a little theater out of this.
exactly
For sure.
yeah.
It's time to grab the popcorn.
And nothing quite makes you feel better in your relationship where you're like, oh my God, you know, I just watched Lori throw chocolate ganache over Bob's face
They were probably
for looking at a male waiter. It wasn't even a female. You're looking at his cock.
I'll bet a bunch of Bob's friends who were in bad marriages were trying to arrange nights out with him and Lori.
They were probably the
you
hot.
know?
That's probably why they were the
Yeah.
hottest uptown. Was like, things are rocky. I need to prove to my wife that,
Yeah.
that we can save this.
Bob was doing 7 nights a week, dinner paid by his
yeah,
friends.
Bob was making a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
that was his job.
Yeah, maybe he started realizing that.
At the end
he
of the
started
night,
glaring at girls'
He was
asses.
consulting.
yeah, each couple would go, "See,
Yeah.
I could sense her mood turning just before we parted from the lounge. I know you're thinking about her, she started in an angry tone.
When you're on the, I know you're thinking about
Yeah.
someone.
Jesus Christ.
I know you're thinking about her. It's
Listen,
crazy.
just delete the number at that point.
'Cause that's
There's
one-
no recovering
That's
from
one
my
where it's
note.
like, there's no proving you weren't.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know.
look, yeah, I mean, yeah, like that's the silliest argument. I know you're thinking about her.
Who? I asked, totally clueless. That brunette with the great body who hugged and rubbed all over you. Jesus, Lori, Diane. Diane is practically married to Jay. I shot back.
Shot back.
Practically married.
It was not uncommon to run into friends when we were out, and tonight was no different. Diane and Jay were a couple I had met not long after I got divorced. Yes, she was attractive, but I never even considered trying to hit on her. She'd been with Jay for well over a year, and he was a good friend as well. Lori, we're just friends and always have been. For God's sake, is it okay for her to come say hello? She hugged the hell out of you, and you loved it, pulling her into you and...
This is.
I'd love to witness this. Actually, it was the most.
Yeah.
What?
Bob's like, what are you talking about? Instead, he's going, Yow! Woo!
He doesn't let her go. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I always greet Diane by motorboating.
Yeah, what the-
What do you mean? That's how I greet every soon-to-be wife of a friend.
I think again, you're on rope's end here. If you're being like someone who's married, who's coming up to you,
Yeah.
and you hug them too inappropriately,
Yeah, this is psychological.
that's just
I've never dealt-
super insecure person.
That's a level of insecurity I don't think I've ever
it's
even
extreme
read.
insecurity.
It is interesting though. You never really know when you're in. Like sometimes the tub just gets hotter and you don't realize that you're in.
Totally.
Because like if this happened on like date 3, you'd be like, oh cool, thank you for letting me know. This is really good information that I will be calling this off.
That's why dating
Right.
can be so scary sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like a monster could come out in 3 months.
Yeah.
It's
For sure.
Like, oh my God.
For
you're a
sure.
fucking
Yeah, it can
sociopath.
take some time.
But
for
I
sure.
think in the case with her, Lori, the monster came out pretty early.
Relatively early.
Enough, Lori, enough, I shot back. She's just a friend who's very happily in a relationship, and I want nothing to do with her. I'm so fucking tired of being guilty of things I don't do. We pulled up to her townhome, and now I was pissed. Damn it, every time we go out, you accuse me of practically fucking any good-looking girl for no reason. Jesus, Lori, get help. I'm done, fucking done. She gave me a negative glance. I'm done too, she shouted, then opened the door, got out and slammed it. I jammed on the accelerator and sped away from her home. One too many evenings ruined, I thought. Yet you put up with this. Time after time after time. One more night ruined.
We're getting a peek into how he could blow a little bit.
Yeah,
We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
You know?
he hasn't ever shared his temper in this. It's nice that on page 59 we finally see that temper that was present for
everybody that everyone knew.
This book was 29 Second Chances at Love and an exploration of my temper. I mean,
He powder kegged finally. I'm sure this fight, the context of this fight, had happened a few times.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
yelling had happened for sure.
and it was a townhouse. You know, this
People
on
are
the
here.
doorstep of a townhouse.
Neighbors are here.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what I'm alluding to when I said
Yeah.
our dad was in this bad mood. I mean, think about, he has this blow up fight. How do you think he's treating us for breakfast the next
you
morning?
accelerate
Yeah.
home to dinner.
Yeah, he comes home, he
he's
steps
punching
on
me.
one of our toys.
Yeah, Lego, that's
Yeah.
gonna fucking piss him
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
This is why I think having divorced parents, they're in a shitty relationship with a girlfriend, whatever. And now they're like going to take that angst and energy out on
Yeah.
the kid in a way. But at Powder Keg, finally, they blew it up here.
Well, we'll see.
And
I
you
mean,
would assume and hope things would be done. Would you not?
After this many months of dating, we both had things at each other's homes, including random clothing, knickknacks, etc. I really didn't want to talk to her or confront her in any way, but I knew I had to eventually get my items from her house. Instead of calling, I emailed her, suggesting that I come by the next day around noon. She emailed back only fine. The next morning, I packed her items in a box at my condo and headed to her house. Clearly loathing the experience with every fiber of my being, I reluctantly knocked on the door and waited. She opened it and looked at me with a blank expression. I'm pregnant, she began, almost devoid of emotion.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
This is what I was alluding to in earlier episodes.
oh my God.
The day after a fight to come in and be like, I'm pregnant. Right away, your mind has to go, okay, are you trying to manipulate
Yeah,
me?
no, it's why did you say it?
And as we know, or what he said in the beginning of the chapter, we started with Dr. Chase, I need a vasectomy.
And he said no, right?
Yeah.
And
talked
as far
about it.
as we know, he's not
He
had
is
the
yet to have
vasectomy
said
yet.
vasectomy.
So
And here he is. You can imagine the fear hearing I'm pregnant out of this woman's mouth, knowing you might have at least 18 years of, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
I just stared for a minute, not totally believing what I was hearing. She was on birth control. At least I thought she was on birth control. Was this a joke or some kind of desperate attempt at trying to gain favor or get back together? She started to cry and gently wiped away a tear. One thing I knew about her was that she wasn't an actress. She had to be telling the truth.
one thing I knew about her, she had no chops.
She had the
Trust me.
yips.
And she
Oh,
had,
yeah.
she wanted to.
this woman was not built for the theater.
I stood there in shock, motionless, not saying a word. Here was the woman who I never wanted to see again, standing in front of me telling me she's pregnant. I took a step into the foyer. A minute or two passed, and then several thoughts seeped into my head.
God, who won that Yankee game last night?
A couple thoughts seeped in my head. Is it pronounced?
God,
Worcestershire?
I should have not had that turkey.
I should not have had.
First, that I was uncontrollably intertwined for an eternity with a woman who I definitively concluded was as compatible with me as fresh squeezed poison ivy juice.
Wait, read that again. What?
What's confusing about that, Will? He said
It's the worst line ever, but it's kind of great.
it's kind of
at the same
awesome.
time.
Honestly,
He's had a few of those that
this
I've
is
read.
a Bobism. She's about as compatible with me as fresh squeezed poison ivy juice.
Juice.
That's such-
This checks out for some of the fucking shit you guys say. This makes so much sense.
Poison ivy juice.
That makes so much sense.
I honestly, if I came up with that, I'd be pretty proud.
fresh squeezed poison ivy.
I might start using that. She goes down as easy as fresh squeezed poison ivy juice.
What the fuck?
God.
You can turn any bad thing into a juice at that rate.
Yeah.
What?
Fresh squeezed uranium number 7.
Yeah.
And second, that I had to start a college fund. Of all the damn things in the world, I actually began thinking about how to finance a zygote's college experience.
Oh. Holy shit.
Whose
These
mother
are
I just called was fresh squeezed
poison
poison
ivy juice. Dude, these are great. These are heaters.
How to finance a zygote's college experience.
About 19 years down the road.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Not the pregnancy, not infancy, nor childhood, or even being a dad to another child. Just the money required to send another kid through college.
In context, I think this is hitting right around 08. So money's probably on his first thing on his mind and going like, the economy fucking is so bad right now. One child equals, and a child is expensive.
Child is expensive, but he's immediately going to like the most expensive
the financial
Well,
aspects.
what's
of it.
shocking about this to me here is she is also loaded, and he's worrying about sending this kid to college.
Well, knowing, I mean, maybe you assume she'll just try to throw it on him somehow. But
Yeah, I don't know
that
how,
doesn't
like-
seem to be that way with her. She seems to be actually quite generous financially.
Yeah.
So.
She was an extremely strong and determined woman, and I could only imagine what a nightmare she would turn into if I became an adversary. I had fleeting thoughts of attorneys, court dates, screaming fights, and nasty public confrontations, combined with consternation from countless friends and strangers for being a total deadbeat just when the woman was carrying my child and needed me most. Well, I guess you have your boyfriend back, I finally said to break the silence.
Oh my God. And this is all happening while his hands are behind his back, thinking in the foyer.
Yeah.
He's in the foyer.
He's taking a good moment.
College.
Yeah, zygote.
Zygote.
What if she went, oh, I guess you have your boyfriend back. I said, you mean my fresh squeezed poison
Poison
ivy?
ivy
Yeah.
juice?
Yeah.
Hey,
She
that's
goes,
my line.
Hold on. Yeah. How do you like your poison ivy?
Fresh squeezed.
The weaponization of a pregnancy is significant. Like it can neutralize all problems immediately because you do
Yeah.
have to immediately go, now there's a child in the equation. I can't fuck around anymore.
He's weighing right now being with this woman and that being oh great, if we invite Bob, we have to invite Lori. That's a thing. Or ruining his reputation as deadbeat dad.
One last thing.
Oh.
What? What?
What?
Don't read ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Don't read ahead.
Oh my God. Yeah, so that's quite that's what a sad little moment, I guess they'll end
Really
here.
sad.
Yeah.
I can imagine from here is that, he probably drives home and thinks, about the implications of this. And I can imagine that the only thing that could be on his mind is, raising a child and the weight and gravity of that.
They're going to have a nice sit down glass of
Sit
wine and
down.
talk about the
Yeah.
future of
Yeah.
their baby.
Because he's only
how
said,
they
I
can
guess you
raise
have your
it.
boyfriend back, and she's now bawling in tears. So.
Right. So it must end
yeah.
very amicably.
Well, we'll
here,
wrap
right?
this up.
She started to cry harder. I hugged her, kissed her, and helped to wipe away her tears. I then dropped down to my knees right there in the foyer. I unsnapped her jeans, pulled the zipper down, and began to strip off her pants.
Oh my God. How can he pull that off?
Oh, my
That's
God.
unbelievable.
Oh, that's the semen meter right there, Will.
Yeah.
That's the semen meter. Oh my God. He is sitting here. Here's the thing that he doesn't include in this. Here's the thing that he's not including in this all of
Get
this
out
mental
that
math.
poison ivy because I'm thirsty.
He's going through all this mental math. What he doesn't say in his process, which I know is why he ends up zipping down her pants, is he just goes, buddy, I've got 9 months, no condom, and going raw. And the thought of that, I think, to him is
Right.
immediately enticing.
Probably part of him is like, well, I've made my bed and we're here and we have to be compatible. And we have 9 months. We may as well just start fucking all the time. Like,
Well, he has
that's crazy.
in the previous episode with the boat. Remember they got in the fight and then he started stripping off her panties
Yeah.
right as she was crying. He gets off on this, which is again, I think
Is
this
it a theme?
Well, just with her.
I think just with her, and I think there's a part of this relationship that's so toxic that it's like they love that passionate
'Cause
fucking. They crash and then they like
that's the
just
thing,
fuck
isn't it?
right away.
People, you get in these really big fights and it gets so heated and then you fuck it out. That's kind of a thing.
That of a really terrible relationship.
yeah.
I think. Yeah, if your marriage is contingent on I have to be in a horrific fight with my wife to get it up, probably not gonna last.
I just love too. He's got this box of all her things, and just he's sitting there in the foyer. I guess you have your boyfriend. Drop, unzip, go down.
It was very cinematic. This whole
was
thing.
pretty honestly
pretty well written.
Yeah, from Bob's writing, I actually give him this is an A+ in his book here.
Yeah, maybe it's getting better as the book goes along.
Well, this is a fascinating chapter you got brought in on. The Book of Lori.
It's not the end. There is one more segment.
we're not over.
Segment. Obviously, the pregnancy leads to something, but Yeah, we're experiencing Bob at full form here, I think.
Yeah,
in all of his highs and lows.
This moment somehow actually encapsulates my dad, I think, better than anything. He's furious, find out this woman's pregnant, decides that he does want to be a good father, and then decides immediately to go down on her. Probably all realistically, I give 10 seconds before he's going down on her from I'm pregnant. To I guess you have your boyfriend back, 10 seconds. And then by 15 seconds of hearing this information, he's already unzipped her pants.
I would say this. I hope this kind of love never finds any of us. Never finds you at home. As this is horrible. This is awful.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you guys fear that you have a little bit of that in you?
I mean, I've been with some women who are a glass of poison ivy juice. I'll be honest. And sometimes they are pretty fun. You know, poison ivy, a dopamine in the itch.
For sure.
It's playing with gasoline, but guess what? The fire's pretty fun sometimes. And I think that's what he was doing here.
He does seem to love the action.
I've witnessed some bad relationships in my life. This may be the worst one I've ever seen.
Really?
Do you know a worse one from your friends or anyone you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been around.
Kind of comparable, honestly.
Yeah.
Told me the other week that they're breaking up and getting together weekly.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
literally
know.
that.
I thought they were actually doing fairly well.
Yeah. Oh no, they are. It used to be daily.
All I'll say is this: I know some bad relationships. We all know bad relationships.
I think some people are going to listen to this and maybe are going to start going, oh fuck, I might have myself a glass of poison ivy juice.
Sure.
We're going hard on Lori here, and this is written from our dad's perspective. So in the case of Lori, I'll give her some benefit of the doubt.
Let's pretend this chapter is from Lori's voice. I'm with a man who's
gawking at women,
who is mouth agape every time I go out to a restaurant.
You think that's true? Like, you think he genuinely
I don't think he was like ogling at women in a way that made those women uncomfortable. My dad loved beautiful women, and I'm sure
I think he had wandering eyes.
for sure. I mean,
he had wandering
this
eyes.
book alone is I think evidence that
indicative that he had wandering eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
So in Lori's defense, I do want to say she was probably with a guy who was incapable of.
In my estimation, given the context clues of her past life and some of the trauma stuff she went to, I don't know if there's any man she's not having some issues with.
I'm just giving Lori a benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. Yeah.
You know, it's hard to look at our dad here as completely, entirely the victim, solely because he wrote a book about all the women that he slept with.
All I'll say is this, guys. Wherever you are at home, if you're looking across the dinner table and you're looking straight into the eyes of a glass of fresh squeezed poison ivy juice,
You pull the pants down.
I want you to jump across the table after you've claimed pregnancy and rip that person's underwear off and ravishingly make love.
You haven't made good sweet love in a minute. Fake pregnancy.
Fake pregnancy.
Think about putting the zygote through college.
Yeah, and then if you're the guy in the situation, really put yourself there. The zygote.
Yeah.
Starting
foyer.
a college fund for
Send
this.
that
Did they just
moment.
make love in the middle of the foyer? Like on the cold marble ground?
We don't know, it sounds like, but I kind of like that's how he wrote it. Like, he kind of leaves these ends untied, and for the reader's discretion, it's like,
I wouldn't be surprised if he always wore a pair of knee pads. Expecting kind
I
of
think
this.
his knees probably had a built-in,
I think he had all of his pleated khakis tailored with a little knee pad
just
action,
a little bit.
knowing that he might collapse at a woman's knees sometime and just really get in there.
It's possible.
that's semen meter.
Well, guys, this is what I'll say. There's a little more Lori to come.
That's the book of Lori, which is not even done yet.
It's not done yet. There's 2 more pages. I see the end, and all I'm saying right now is I see a maternity ward in the next page.
Is there a
There's
maternity ward?
ward. All right. So something's got to be delivered, but I think there's still some surprises to come, and we'll tell you about our cruise ship next time too.
We got a cruise ship
We
story.
got a cruise ship story. It's a pretty good story because there's a pregnant belly on that story. And guys, we will see you next week on
From
Lust to Dust, My Horny Dead Dad.
From lust